Welcome, everyone. It's Michelle, and I'm going to share with you my ideas for Gifts for an Artist 2025. I know it's probably feels a little bit early in September, but also I know that many of us do start gradually adding to our little pile of gifts that we're going to give to people for Christmas. And so I'm going to start off with three books. The first one is Creating Textures in Pen and Ink with Watercolor by Claudia Nice or Nice. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Let's just move my bookmark out of the way. I have already done a review on this book, which if you go to my playlists and find the one that says book reviews, then you'll find a better review on the whole book. But I'm just going to flip through and show you. This covers all textures of every kind. Um, it really is a beautiful book for someone that likes to add textures to their work. And I think if I just, here we go. So we've got an introduction and materials, basic texturing techniques, the look of transparency, metallic impressions, earth impressions, skies and weather, wood grain patterns, tree techniques, translucent florals, still life strategies, and fur to feather for animals and birds. So it's a it's a beautiful book. And I use it for inspiration myself. So um I can highly recommend that one for an artist. And although it says in pen and ink with watercolor, you probably could adapt it if you were using other mediums, just using the pictures here and working out how you would do that in a different way. So that's my first recommendation. My second recommendation is the lovely book by Katie Moody called Sketchbook Joy. I've done a review of this one as well, so you will find a much bigger review of Katie's book on my channel under the, as I said, the playlist that says book reviews. Um, I'm highly recommending this book if you're someone that loves working in your sketchbooks using mixed media, then I think this is the perfect gift. So, Sketchbook Joy by Katie Moody. This next one, I don't think I've ever done a review on. It's The Cat Who Taught Zen by James Norbury. Um, and I think, most of us recognize that our art, whether it's, watercolor, acrylics, whether it's card making, whether it's collage, whether it's oils, whatever it is that we're doing, is also quite a mindful thing to do. And this is just a beautiful story about the cat who taught Zen. But look at the lovely pictures that are in here. And I think anyone would just love this book. Well, I hope they would anyway. I think, it gives some little life lessons in here that are really important. And yeah, their artwork is absolutely lovely. Um, and I just love the fact that sometimes you've got this blank page with just a line on it. Um, but yes, and the colorways that have been used. Some of it reminds me a little bit of Japanese art. Um, But there we are, The Cat Who Taught Zen by James Norbury. It's a hardback book. And I think if you know someone that's into their art, but also likes, things around mindfulness, likes a story that's got something that you can learn from it, then yeah, I think this one would be a good choice. So that's The Cat Who Taught Zen by James, oh, I've got croaky voice, Norbury. The next thing that I'm going to share with you is a set of pens. I did have two. I can't find the other one, but this is rather lovely. You can see the little hairs at the top there and all of the detail on the bottom. If I share my screen, let me just see if I can, there it is. When you find this on Amazon, it comes in this lovely box with these two pens and it's £8.99, but there are other choices, so I'll quickly just skim along them. So you've got one with foxes on, you've got Klimt, you've got a bright pink one with bees, you've got this one, which I've got, which is, oh no, that one's called Symphony, sorry. Then you've got a couple of William Morris ones as well. So you've got some other choices. I had already got, let me come off of this stop share. So that's only £8.99. I'd already got this sticky notes folder, and I forget where I bought this from, but which has been really lovely to use. And a very lovely friend of mine gave me the set of pens to match. So I think there are other stationery things that you can buy in this with these designs on. So that's my next pick, a couple of really pretty pens, and you might find a notebook or something to go with them. Another thing that I think is rather arty and nice is to find like a bamboo Chinese brush holder or some kind of brush holder. So I've got this one that I found in an antique shop. I think I also found this one maybe on eBay. And then if we're not into wood, you can find a pretty pot like this. Um, I did find I'll share my screen again. Hold on. So, oh, let me just get my share the screen working properly. Oh, here we go. So here we go. Look, we've got this one here, um, which is really quite pretty. You can see the design on it there. Um, that one is £8.09. So, another not too expensive, nice thing to give to someone who's an artist. You don't have to put paintbrushes in it, even though it says but you could put pens, pencils, etc. So that's my next pick. I think the other thing that if you just bear with, I'm going to get is I've done a video on this as well. Although it may have been a short. This is the Hacko Biz pencil case, And I mean, it really is the best one that I've ever come across. It opens out. This bit at the front goes down. You've got a little popper, and lo and behold, it just stands up, and it's just really lovely. Um, so, you know, that is another um, present that I think any artist would be glad to have and store their things in. So let's just zip that one back up again. So yeah, and pop that back down. So that is the Hacko Biz pencil case, which I think would make a lovely, lovely present. So this little sketchbook is a Paul Rubens, and I haven't used it yet, but I think that also it's really pretty. It's not terribly big in that it measures, where are we? About 5.5 by 4 inches. But it does have the elastic. It's got a really nice, pretty design on the front. You get the little ribbon to keep your place. The paper in here is really rather nice, and it does have the perforation. So if you do something that you really like and you wanted to give it to someone, you can actually take these out, or, you know, rip them out, which I think is rather lovely. But it's a nice one to have as a in a little takeout sketch kit for, you know, when you're out and about in your handbag. Um, so yeah, this little Paul Rubens sketchbook would make another really nice gift. Also, I think, you know, a little bit of luxury, 100% cotton. This is the Light Wish watercolor block. It's cold pressed, and it's about 10.5 by 7.5 inches. And you get this protective bit here. Um, and it also came with a tool for you to, I'm not sure where I've put mine, but it's a very pretty tool. Oh, let me just have a quick look. Found it. So it looks like a leaf, and there is a hole there, so you could put it on some string so that you don't lose it. But that's so that you can put it in the little gap and release the paper, which is glued all the way round because it's a block. Um, but I think that makes a really rather lovely present if you know someone is into their watercolor. So this is going to look rather weird, but if you are someone that goes out and about sketching, then quite often you will find that the benches or the wall that you're going to sit on might be a little bit damp. Sometimes we've got the bird poop on them, and we just want to be comfortable when we sit down. And this undoes and turns into, can hardly get it in, but it's a thermal cushion. And it just means that you don't have to think too hard about where you're going to sit, because you can just take this with you. And this is really, really light. So I think that this would make, um, yeah, if you know the person goes out and about sketching, you can put this on the grass, you can put it on chair if the chair's a bit damp and wet or whatever, or on a bench or on a wall. Yeah, really handy to have. And especially in the colder weather, because it is thermal. Yeah, it's rather nice to sit on, is all I'm going to say. So there we go. That's going to be my next suggestion. Another suggestion is this Calero gold and silver. It's called Pearl Colors Gold and Silver set. And this is a really nice set. They're really pigmented. And other than the Schminke Aqua Bronze that I sometimes use, these are my go-tos. These are my favorites if I want to add some gold or silver um, onto my paintings because I know that they're going to work. So that would be my next one as a suggestion. And, you know, it's quite Christmassy in that it's got gold and silver in it. So there we go. That's my next suggestion. Coming up next are these. And these are by Potentate. They're watercolor postcards. The green one is cold pressed, and these are 6x4. But I think what's nice is that they come in the tin, and the yellow tin. Let me just get all my bits and pieces out. The yellow tin is hot pressed. And these are both of them are 300 GSM, so they're a nice weight of postcard. And of course, this kind of size is really good for, you know, trying things out. It's really good to give as gifts. Um, it's just a handy little size, and yeah, really nice. You know, fits in a. I've probably got this in here because this is where I've bought 6x4 photo frames, and these fit in them really nicely. So that was just to remind myself that I can do that with these. Um, and I just think it's nice. They look, rather than just in a cellophane, you know, bag. Um, and when you've finished them, you can use the tin for something else. So, yeah, these Potentate postcard tins, I think, are another lovely gift that an artist would be really happy to receive. Now, I guess this doesn't look too much fun, but I think they come as a pack of 10. Obviously, I've got these in other little kits in bags all over the place. Um, but these little palettes are really good for, because they're lightweight and they're plastic, which no, I probably wouldn't use them in the studio to work with. Um, but then again, if I was using something uh that you know, I need to be careful. I can't, you know, wash the paint down the sink or whatever. You know, then I would be maybe using something like this so that I can then wrap it up and put it in the rubbish. But I think that these are quite handy to have. You know, not all of our palettes come with big enough mixing areas, especially if they're little travel pallets. So lightweight, easy to carry around. You could always add something else, you know, to this as a gift. But yeah, a little set of 10 of those, and you know, maybe you add something else that is going to be really useful for that artist. Maybe it's you know, maybe it's some water pens, for example, water pens and little palette you know, maybe a set of water pens and these palettes, they'd be really, you know, grateful to have, because I guess it's that, you know, we go through them quite quickly as artists, and yeah, it's handy. It's a handy rather than a pretty present, I suppose. Now, can't do any kind of gift list really without Dr. PH Martin's Bleed Proof White, because for me it's just an essential. I don't ever want to be without it. And I think once other artists realize that you know, it works, it's more versatile, I think, and works better than white gouache, white acrylic. You know, your tubes are going to be really quite big to take out and about with you. So and I just think that this covers really nicely over just about um any other kind of mixed media materials that we're using. Uh, there is there is a whole video on using bleed proof white that I've done. So I'll try and put that one below as well. But yeah, this would be my next suggestion if you're pulling together a few things, um, little gifts, making up a little box of things, or you know, a little bag of gifts for an artist, then bleed proof white definitely in my mind needs to be on the list. So this is going to be my next suggestion, and these little tins, I've got them dotted about all over the place, but they're really good for keeping. These are like the erasers that fit on the top of a mechanical pencil. You can keep little ink cartridges. You can keep nibs for um, you know, spare nibs for your fountain pens. Um, trying to see if I've got my. Oh, here we go. You know, you when you've got one of these kind of dip pens, that's what I was trying to think of, and you need you know, several nibs maybe, um uh for storing the leads for mechanical pencils, all sorts of little things. And it just means that you've got these nice little tins to put them in, and you can um you can get these for £7.88, it says here. So yeah, you can make up a nice little do you get the whole lot for that? Let me just see. Tango iron to a mini. Oh right. Well, it's not very clear, is it? You can see that they've put lots of different things in here, but yeah, you've got lots of different designs. Some of them are square, some of them are a bit more um taller in height. I've got several of them, purely because normally they ask you to choose which color if you're only getting one. But oh, 8 pack tins. Oh, let's have a look at this one. So yeah, you get 8 of them in this particular, on this one. So look, you've got cute bears, you've got one that's called daisies, one that's called dessert, an ethnic pattern, florals, different kind of florals. You've got lemons, you've got sunflowers. Um, so yeah, I think this is a really good idea, because us artists have always got little things that we're needing to store in places and they just get lost if we don't put them in something. So yeah, something like this I think is a brilliant idea. Let's stop that. Stop the share. Okay, the other thing that I think is a really lovely thing to have is a Sailor Fude pen, um, because it can go from really thick lines to maybe not quite so thick to really quite fine lines. And when you're, wanting to add some interest to, what it is that you're doing, then I just really rate this as an idea. I think they're really rather obviously this is just a bit of a rush, but you can see I'm getting lots of different textures and lines just from one brush. I don't need one nib. I don't need to have lots of different sized um fine liners because this will do everything that I want. So you can buy cartridges for it. I've got a converter on there, and if you buy the converter, and you know that your artist will need waterproof ink, then I'm also going to suggest this carbon black ink, which I always use in here and works really well together. So Fude pen and ink, yeah, another great little gift for an artist. It'll give them something else to play with. This is my favorite palette, um, ceramic palette. It's not too big, it's not too small. What are we looking at? About 6 inches square. And I like the way that it dips. The paint can be kept in the bottom there, but I can water it down a bit more up above. And this one is not too expensive on Amazon. So some of these I've found already on Amazon, but some of them I haven't. £9.95. There we go. This is by Meaden. So, some of these things that I'm showing you, you could maybe put together a little basket of things that would make a really nice present. So these are my Tom's Studio pens. These two are the Lumos, and this one is the Wren. So you can get the Lumos that is double-ended, but because you only get one lid, I decided to get two Lumos instead. They come with various nibs that you can use, um, and they are rather lovely to hold. They just feel, because they're metallic, they feel rather special and lovely when you're um, working with the pen. You can screw the lid on the top, which means that when I'm out and about sketching, I'm not going to lose the lid, which is why I like these. I think this is probably 0.5 nib that I've got in that one. And then in the green one, I've got a brush, the brush nib, so that I've got choices. And then the Wren pulls out and then pushes in to make the pen. And yeah, I might need to fill that one back up. Probably a good job I got it out then, really. But they all have, where is it? There it is. um, these reservoirs that you can fill up with any ink that you want. And I think that's the beauty of them. And the reservoir, you can buy more of them, so that if you get fed up with a colour, let's just see if we can get you going again. I'm not sure that there isn't any ink in there. It might just be that I haven't used it for a while. But anyway, that's how that one works. And I think that these are great value for money. I love mine. I'm going to leave that out to remind me that I need to refill it, but these two seem to be working okay. Um, yeah, really lovely, great presents. There are other things on Tom's Studio website that might take your fancy to give as gifts to an artist as well. But the Lumos and the Wren I can recommend as a really lovely present. And then finally, I got this from Rosemary and Co. here in the UK, but um, you can go direct to Art Toolkit if you're in the States. This is the Folio palette, which I really love. Just um, those are my colours. I have put a piece of well, I don't really know what you'd call this, like glassine, I suppose. Um, but yeah, this is my palette that I have, and it is a really lovely palette. It's really great when I'm out and about. So the other palettes I personally found a little bit small, but there are other palettes that you can choose from. So one of these toolkit palettes, I think, can be a really nice present that maybe the artist wouldn't buy for themselves. Um, just get you back in place, back in your little bag. So there we go. The art toolkit palettes, I think any of them would make a really nice gift. And I think that's where I'm going to leave it. Um, yeah, thanks so much for watching. And maybe some of those things have given you an idea if you're looking for presents for an artist.